You're on.
All right. Welcome, fellow TFFL owners. It's Thursday, September 3rd. This webcast has been 47 minutes in the making here, but we're rolling. It's our pre-draft edition. We're going to do a quick keeper review. We're going to go through 2 rounds of a mock draft with all 5 of our panelists here. Let me quickly introduce everybody. We got our 2-time defending champions, the Killers. Berto, welcome.
Hey, Stick.
Hank, our technical leader. Nice work tonight.
Failing miserably as technical.
Chief, our commissioner, on his 4th drink, I believe now.
4.
And Thornburg, welcome.
Howdy.
Becoming a regular.
Love to be that information source.
First time those.
What?
So Thornburg, regular.
Yeah. Chief, start us off here with we got some important dates coming up. We're less than 48 hours from the keeper deadline. We got the draft coming up. What do people need to know right now?
And you said it. We have a Saturday deadline for both the keeper list and for the dues. I'm not going to hammer the dues too much because I'm sure we all remember what happened last year. But get him in at some point next Saturday. If you go to Sunday, get him in Sunday. Game Monday, but get them in. And secondly, the keeper lists are due on Saturday. Once again, the rulebook doesn't specify a time, but I think we all like to know who everybody's keeping. So if we can shoot for a noon deadline, I realize it's a holiday weekend, so people have different things going, but we can get a quick turnaround on it and get the official 2015 keeper list out to the league.
And just as a public service announcement, before you submit your keeper list, come talk to me if you're looking for solid talent.
Can I make a quick question? Do we know what the NFL deadline to get to whatever their number 53 is, what that deadline is?
I don't know, but if you're seriously thinking about keeping someone who's on the verge of being cut by an NFL team, I don't know what to tell you.
Well, hypothetically, I've got Fred Jackson on my roster.
This was another source of controversy, the Dominic Davis controversy when I was commissioner.
How would you rule in that?
I think at minimum, in the practical sense, that even if you considering keeping a guy who might get cut by an NFL team, I think chances are pretty good he'll be back on a different team's roster, by Monday of opening weekend. So, buyer beware if you're entertaining keeping a guy who's no lock to make his roster.
The only thing I'm saying is if we could make it 1 hour after that or whatever. It's not just for now, but it would be nice.
No, I understand. I really don't know what it is.
I don't need.
If it happens to be 1 o'clock on Saturday or 5 o'clock on Saturday, then wait till after that if it makes you feel better.
Bill, why don't you research that while we're chatting and get back to us?
That's a good idea. Okay, I'll do that.
Good work, Stick.
Way to put Thornburg to use.
Called management.
Good delegation.
Yes.
Yeah, dues are due. Pay your dues. No controversies this year. Draft is goodness. The draft is draft weekend is 8 days away. The draft is 9 days away.
Dick, has everyone paid you for the house?
I think the answer to that is no. I do believe there are a couple slackers. I have not done the final accounting, but
let me just say on your behalf to the
Name them.
Get fucking money to Stick ASAP. It's bullshit.
I'll be okay.
Carry on.
Well said.
Pay your dues too, folks.
Thorny, do we have an answer?
Momentarily, they're getting it. I have the date. I just don't have the time.
What's the date?
Date is the 5th.
Monday. No, Saturday.
Yeah.
Saturday.
Yeah. Okay. Good.
Okay,
Here on Saturday.
I got it. Saturday, September 5th at 4 p.m. Rosters need to be cut down to 53 players. So 4 p.m. Can we make it 5 p.m.?
How about 4:20?
We can make it. We can make it however late you want.
We're setting a standard here. Come on, let's be serious about it.
With the understanding that the later people get their lineups in, the later it's going to take to compile them and send them out to the league.
So they'll only have
Let's get done until Sunday.
8 days until the draft instead of, or 7 full days instead of 6 days.
I just can't imagine it's going to be a factor.
But it's good to set a standard for it. 1 hour past the NFL trade deadline.
Right.
Keeper deadline.
So be it. 5 o'clock.
Yeah. So and if they change it to 3 o'clock next year, it'll be 4 o'clock.
No, it's 4 p.m. 4 p.m. Eastern is usually the deadline for all things NFL on the day. Draft year starts at 4 p.m.
Yeah.
The waiver period ends at 4 p.m. It's always a 4 p.m. Eastern deadline. So
we put in the rules that it's 1 hour past whatever the 53-man deadline.
No. I don't want any more fucking deadlines in the rules.
Yeah, but what if it changes next year?
I don't want any deadlines in the rules.
How about we take this offline as speaking of rules, Bill. How about we transition that way?
I have some commentary on that. Yes.
Any new rules that people should be reminded of as we approach the draft here?
Yes, we had 2 rules. Excuse me. We had bring it up. We had actually 5 rules that passed, but they're very sort of simple things.
Wow.
The rule number 3 passed by a 10-2 margin that defensive and scoring touchdown that score a 2-point conversion on a botched/fake extra point is credited as 2 points.
Don't remind me.
So again, I'm just running through the clarifications that we've gone through. So the next rule change was rule number 6, or rule option number 6, excuse me, which was that teams may not use a free agent pick on a player that are on another roster. In other words, owner A may have hard intelligence, even a hunch that owner B is planning on dropping a player in the free agent or IR process. Owner A can't claim a free agent claim can't put in a free agent claim on that player. So that passed. I know these are minor things, but I think these are clarifications in the rules that we need. So rule number 7 also passed. Each team has to have an effect. Each team has in effect a 20-man roster. If an owner drops or IRs a player whose team played on Thursday night, the player acquired in FAIR is ineligible to play for that team that week. So basically you're saying you can't just pick up a guy, drop a guy on Thursday, pick up a guy on Sunday. That's
have him play for you.
Right, exactly. And lastly, we had rule number 8. A player may be placed on IR during that player's NFL bye week only if that player was out the previous game. So you can't, during the bye week, if a guy's put on IR, you can't put him on IR. He has to be out the week before he was put on IR. And lastly, by a smidgen of an 8-4 margin, number 9, all defensive scoring questions will defer to CBS Sportsline website. Automatic settings, thereby eliminating the commissioner having to make single instance scoring alternatives. So once the game is once the season has started and we've set those, the commissioner is obliged to refer to the CBS scoring system. So hope that was quick, down, and dirty for everybody, but I think what it does is provide CYA for the commissioner and the rules commissioner. Yeah. And
if I can chime in on that, Bill, on the face of it, that seems to contradict the first one you mentioned, which is the 2-pointer going to the team on a botched extra point that goes for 2, because that is not a scored play. I can't make that a score play by the website. So I'm just going to announce right now that I'm actually putting that on the owners affected to call it to my attention.
Fair enough.
Because I it's very likely I will not see that play.
No, I think you're absolutely right. I mean, we're trying to eliminate stuff that we're so far we're in the minutiae.
So, but I think that's how I'm going to handle those two rules, which are kind of at odds with each other. I think, and for good reason, our rule book should take precedent over the scoring matrices available on CBSSportsline.com. However, I need the owner to rely on the owner to call it to my attention in a timely manner.
And I think we have enough of an executive committee here to approve that.
So thank you very much, Bill, for that review, because I don't remember what's been passed and what hasn't.
I go to sleep thinking about it, so you know.
All right, let's right before we get into our keeper review here, what I want to ask is the question we've been talking a little bit about on email this week. How many missed games, projected missed games, is too many, whether it be a suspension or an injury, before you say it's just not worth keeping this guy, knowing I'm only going to have him for so many games this year? We have a lot of examples of this. I really think the best one is probably Arian Foster, where, again, I think if it's 10 games, no, he's not a keeper. If it's 2 to 4 games, yeah. Hank's got Kelvin Benjamin, on IR for the year. I've got Jordy Nelson. I got Martavis Bryant suspended for 4 weeks. Are those two guys keepers? How long is too long?
Well, I think the easy part is when you know the guy's out for the year. Okay, you know Jordy Nelson's out for the year. You know Kelvin Benjamin's out for the year. Really, the difference between the two is one's going to be 30 next season and one's going to be 25 next season.
Right.
I think it's a lot easier to keep Kelvin Benjamin than Jordy Nelson based on that, but I think Jordy Nelson's a lot better than Kelvin Benjamin, so yeah, you can swing the other way too. The Arian Fosters, where it really, you got to go with your gut, because nobody knows. Nobody knows Arian Foster. You can miss 4 games, you can miss 12 games. I think the high side's more likely. The team's slow playing it. They're guarding their information that's so publicly. It's hard for me to see someone with that injury returning so soon and being effective. Getting back into game shape and actually contributing in a game. And I think those are the hard situations. Clearly, Arian Foster is a established superstar in this league. And but then again, he's also going to be, I think, 29, during the season.
Yeah.
So that makes it a little bit easier for Giant Killers to move on. But if I'm the Giant Killers, I have to keep Arian Foster. He might just be healthy for that stretch drive in the playoffs, and I don't think you can justify cashiering him. For the other two guys specifically mentioned, I think we have to look at what's your other options. Is Darren McFadden really a better option than Jordy Nelson? I would say no. Is Andre Johnson a better option than Kelvin Benjamin? I would say yes. So I think you have to figure, what are you going to replace this guy with into your equation?
Yeah. I think that's a pretty thorough answer. It's about age, it's about replacement, who do you have to replace, and long-term value. Yeah.
I agree. That was well said. So, am I keeping Kelvin Benjamin or not?
No, I would not.
What's Bill's answer?
I don't think he's that good. I just don't think he's that good of a. He's not a. He had a great rookie year, but we can go down a list of receivers who had great rookie years. Right? We have Michael Clayton, Kiri Colbert, Ray Caruth, and did nothing else, and Terry Glenn, and did very little else in the league.
I would say this. I think, personally, Phil, and I'm not saying this because I'm your division rival, but I would keep him. No, I mean, seriously, he's too young, and I think Chief hit the nail on the head.
Yeah, but couldn't you get Devin?
The first part of the comment, not the latter part about the talent-wise, and not knowing whether he's a talented wide receiver beyond his rookie year or not. But your replacement guy, the guy you're gonna potentially replace Kelvin Benjamin with, is on his last legs.
So I'm not, this is where it gets to, though, because you got to think about it. My gut reaction is you keep Kelvin Benjamin. He's young, he's good, he's going to get better. And then you think about it, all right, well, I got to protect him this year, and then Brad, I could IR him after week 1 or 2 and get some young stud that nobody knows about. But then I got to keep him again next year. So I'm going to have to keep him twice before he ever plays a game for me again. You know,
Yeah,
that's tough. You know, and if I want production this year, and I don't have a first or a third round draft pick, I could use guys who are going to play.
And can
I don't know. I think an Andre I'm sorry, Bill. I think an Andre Johnson is eminently replaceable.
Yeah.
In the draft, very easily, in my opinion. A guy like Kelvin Benjamin. I mean, who knows? I mean, to be honest with you, I remember I dropped Vincent Jackson one year. He was injured or suspended. I can't remember what it was. And it was a mistake because he came back and he had good seasons after that. So I don't know, but Vincent Jackson was younger at that point than Andre Johnson, who you'd be replacing him with. Kelvin Benjamin to me is the perfect type of receiver that we're looking for. A big guy who's a number one, who's going to score touchdowns, and you're going to throw him back in the pond. And Andre Johnson to me is not an exciting alternative.
Who would go first? Who would go first in the draft?
Well, where would Kelvin Benjamin go if he were in the draft?
Exactly. Behind Andre Johnson, I'm sure.
Yeah, I would think so too. I think the earliest, somebody who's reaching, that's
first round or early second. I mean, you've got guys that are healthy, like Devin Funchess, who basically is the same guy who doesn't have a torn ACL. So, if somebody wants to go that way with, extreme high side, I think Funchess is somebody like that.
Right. So does Funchess go before Benjamin in the draft?
There is precedent here. And Phil, the answer I think would probably be Benjamin, since Funchess hasn't barely played himself. Remember when Ricky Williams had to take that year sabbatical from football? He was drafted, and I believe it was number 12 overall by the Amsterdam Packers, being out of football, getting nothing for him that year. So, it's a running back to a wide receiver. But if you're looking for historical precedent, I mean, some owners will take that risk early and with an eye to the future.
Yeah, Beavers did that with a great guy out of Michigan State who never played a freaking down.
Also, the difference is Ricky Williams could have always changed his mind and come back mid-season, I suppose.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And I guess the other component to this, right, is that, Phil is still gunning for a Pac Bowl this year. And, it's not like he's the Senators.
Right.
So.
I'm not building. I'm trying to win right now.
Not building. So
that's a very good point.
Yeah.
So maybe to your point that, Andre Johnson is the right guy. If you were a team who had no shot this year, then maybe you approach that differently.
And that's, and not to tip, I'm sure I'll change my mind 3 or 4 times before Saturday, but I'm leaning that way in the sense that I want to win now, and Kelvin Benjamin cannot help me do that this year.
No.
And
sadly not. No.
And then, taking it further, I got to keep him again next year, potentially over somebody, say Devin Funchess, who I draft for the 20th pick, that might turn out to be a stud. And then so I kept Kelvin Benjamin and totally wasted it.
How about you try to trade Benjamin to a shitty team? Give him the Senators; they can use him.
Shitty teams should contact me before starting.
Senators
number at the bottom, 1-800.
Yes.
The Senators, with their 4 legit keepers, probably could use Kelvin Benjamin on the keeper list.
Kramer,
Josh Gordon. That's how bereft of talent that team is.
Yeah, well, again, I'm sure I'll waffle on it several times, but yeah, he's a good player. But there are others out there as a receiver too.
He had a good season.
All right. Okay, so we're gonna do a 2-round mock draft here. We're gonna go 24 picks. What we'll do is I'll sort of identify who will make each pick. We'll rotate. We'll make sure nobody picks for their own team.
That's impossible.
Don't worry, Stick can handle it.
I think we're
okay with that.
I have no picks.
That's what I was saying. Maybe go into Bruno's first pick. I don't know.
I'll let Phil pick for the Beavers straight through 7, 8, 9.
Sure.
All right.
As long as I get 2 in front of that.
Chief Phil and I, and often has Michael joined us on these, our 2-3 round mock drafts on the drive down to Myrtle Beach.
Nick has. Michael never has.
Nick. So we've done them with multiple people before. We can pull this off. First, I think when we send out the webcast, Hank, why don't you include the spreadsheet with the projected keepers on it so everybody can see what we're basing the draft off of.
Sure.
And before we get started here, this would be a chance for you guys if you want to jump in and quibble with any of my picks and just give some additional perspective. Were there any that surprised you or that you disagree with?
I don't have any disagreements, just an observation about the capriciousness of the NFL. There are at least 2 guys being kept here that weren't even being discussed as keepers 2 weeks ago that I caught right away. And
Devontae Adams.
but also Bishop Sankey. And I don't know if Devontae Adams is the other one. I don't have your document open. I had it at one point, but it's not open right now. No, I don't know. I rebooted. I lost it. But there were 2 of them that 2 weeks ago, if you said this guy's a keeper, I mean, he was even in that possibilities category. It just shows how injuries and how performance of the preseason. I mean, Bishop Sankey has really played very good ball, granted in the preseason last couple games. And so all of a sudden, Ralph, who we were scrambling around trying to find keepers for, has another one.
I'll give you 3 others
right now in preparation, but also to figure where the other guy is.
3 other names that might fall in this category, Chief. Ronnie Hillman.
Mm-hmm.
Well, but that's Kramer. He had no better options, but true.
Yeah.
Ruben Randall, same thing for the Saints. And I guess Darren McFadden for me.
Right, but he was always in that. You can squint and see that.
Okay, so we'll send around the projected keeper list. You guys.
The Senators are going to make a deal before the.
God, they have to make probably 2.
They're
going to make
time.
a deal.
Hey, Stick, you have any 6-sided die from Dungeons and Dragons? You can just roll for every, first pick.
I think you can buy a 6-sided die in any convenience.
You need an 8-sided die?
Bill, for the record, I played Stratomatic as a kid.
Oh, baby!
I was a Pursue the Pennant guy myself.
That's a statistics keeper's nightmare.
Oh, I loved it. I loved it.
I know that.
That's a great game.
Yes,
Yeah.
it is.
Okay, so let's get going here. Let's be quick. We don't need to take a minute per pick. I think we can breeze through this pretty quickly, and then at the end, let's jump in and argue with some of the picks. Talk about which one surprised us. Talk about who is still sitting out there that we're surprised lasts 2 full rounds. So pick number 1, Boba Fett's at the top of the draft. Berto, why don't you give us this pick?
Sure. Todd Gurley. Very easy.
There you go. So the Fats, I'll save this for the end then. Go ahead, Hank, number 2, the Amsterdam Packers.
Tailor-made for Melvin Gordon. Chargers.
All right, we got 2 picks coming up here at 3 and 4 for the Senators. Let's have one person do both picks. How about Chief picking for your division mate?
Well, number 3 I think is T.J. Yeldon. I think that's fairly simple. I think it's a very good pick. Looking at the Senators' projected keeper list, which I gotta find again. Here we go. So we have them keeping 3 running backs, 3 receivers, and we have Ronnie Hillman and Ruben Randall. So he can use help at both. But I think at this point in the draft, I think we need. I think we need a running back for Senators. I'm actually gonna give him Amir Abdullah here.
Oh, really?
Interesting.
All right.
I think it's going to be easier to find a wide receiver later and he needs a running back he can plug and play.
Yeah, I agree. I think the Sens realize they gotta they got to get a couple foundational running backs. If they do, you're in the game. You're in the discussion.
Mm-hmm.
Hopefully hopefully he's thinking he can get lucky somewhere else with receivers. He's got a couple second-round picks too, right? Or no?
He has
No.
No,
He traded.
no second-round picks,
no seconds.
only one third-round pick. If my
That's right. He traded his second away. Okay. All right.
Okay, let's keep moving along here. Number 5 is the Sponge Fisherman. Bill, you have a pick for Chief.
Yeah, this is a no-brainer. Amari Cooper is just, he's fantasy-wise, he's better than the other 4 guys there, but he's a wide receiver, so unfortunately he falls to 5.
Great pick,
great
I think.
assessments.
Great pick, Chief.
That is a great assessment because he definitely, I think, is the difference maker in the class.
Yep.
Him and Gurley, I think, are really the two. And his shoulders above it.
All right, so the 6th pick, I'm disappointed I'm going to make this pick because I haven't made one yet. But the Mongols, to me, at this pick are the really tough one to forecast. I think the best player on the board is probably Tevin Coleman in Atlanta, except that the Mongols have Devontae Freeman. Are they really going to take Coleman and Freeman together? I don't think so.
Why not?
Because they need people to start at running back. They got I guess they can go Lacey, Jennings, and Kelsey early in the year. I don't know. That just it doesn't seem right to me to have both of those Atlanta running backs. But
I would argue the opposite. That at least by having both of those guys, if hopefully the best outcome, you have both of those guys, and it really goes in one direction.
What's actually the pick here?
Let's put Coleman here. I think he's the best player, and again, I'm not sure the Mongols taken, but I think the Mongols may end up trading this pick because they're not going to get great value from it. Somebody else will take Coleman there.
Interesting. If only there were a team looking to move up.
All right, so we got 3 picks now coming up for the Beavers. Let's have the same person make all 3 picks.
Ah!
Yeah, you want somebody? Yeah,
Fine. Somebody gets the whole thing.
The whole enchilada, and I'm going to give it to Berto because, frankly,
Good man.
He's not getting to see anybody pick for the Killers.
I like to. At least I'm getting a lot of picks here. That's
So have
great.
some fun here, Berto.
All right. Let's see. Let me take a gander here. All right, let's go David Cobb. Rookie in Tennessee.
Mm-hmm.
Let's go Aguilar on the Eagles. I think Bill is going to go young across the board here.
He's got Jordan Matthews already.
That's okay. High-powered offense. Nothing wrong with that.
Yeah.
It is.
And let's go Matt Jones on Washington. Flyer.
I can see why you'd want to trade up.
Love Matt Jones. But, yeah.
Thoughts?
Okay. Dirt Devils, number 10, Hank.
Devils, they're not going to reach for a rookie.
No.
So it's more a question of like, do they like, if Foster being out for a while and take Alfred Blue? That's kind of
just as an aside there, if the Beavers hadn't taken Matt Jones, I think the Devils absolutely would as a backup replacement to Alfred Morris.
Yeah. I think you might be right.
But here's the team. They've only got 2 projected keeper running backs right now. They need to go find some guys who can start, and there aren't many of them out there. They got to find one here. I don't think that's Matt Jones, even if he's available.
So is it Alfred Blue? Is it Ryan Matthews? Is it
You tell us.
I think Ryan Matthews. If Matt Jones isn't there, if the Beavers take him like I just had him taking him, I think Ryan Matthews is a perfect first-round Dirt Devils selection.
Yeah.
Give him to him.
Veteran guy who's not gonna be the next coming, but he'll be a solid citizen, and he'll get him some points.
Yeah, I like it. Ryan Matthews.
All right. Okay, Lizards. Lizards on the clock. Chief. This is the number 11.
Yeah, I'm looking at this, and they have 2 running backs and 4 pretty good receivers kept here. So I think we're obviously looking at a running back or tight end situation. The next rookie I have on my list is Cameron Artis-Payne. I think it's kind of way too early for that. So we need a running back, maybe on a veteran running back or a tight end that will produce. I'm not very high on Greg Olsen right now because I think he's going to have about 2.5 coverage on him every play. But I think by sheer volume he's going to score points. So I'm going to go Greg Olsen to the Lizards.
Is Olsen on the Lizards right now, or is he on the Beavers?
Beavers.
Beavers. Okay. All right. So let's give Olsen. Okay. So we come to the aliens.
Display up. Can you put a display up of what we have yet? Can you copy that document that you're filling in, Phil? Stick.
I'm just sending up an email that I'm just mocking all the picks that I can definitely send, but I don't have really a way to throw it up.
Okay.
Yeah, I've got it on a different computer here. Actually.
I'm trying to write down, but at some point I'm gonna,
Yeah.
All right, that's all right. We're almost halfway there, guys. Keep up. Okay.
I've only made 1 pick.
Aliens at number 12, and this is going to be you, Bill. Who you taking for me?
And so far you've taken
Nothing.
nothing. Okay. You need some help then, aren't you?
I could use some new players.
I would, in all honesty, I'd probably have you take Martavis Bryant at this point. This is a guy who I really like. I mean, I from a long-term standpoint and from a keeper standpoint, you already have 2 wide receivers. You can probably pick up a third. You've got 3, 4 running backs that are good and a quality quarterback. So I think taking a guy who's going to be a downfield threat, I would take him here.
All right, I'll take that.
Reach. That's a reach from a Steelers homer. He's out for the first
I'll
game.
save my comments for the end.
Okay, so
I am prolonged by 1 more drink and 1 more separation to take care of whatever. So.
All right, good. So you got Stick's taking Martavis Bryant.
All right, so we've just wrapped up the first round, halfway there. Let's go through the second. Unfortunately, Berto, we're not going to get to one of your picks late in the third.
No.
But we'll go through 2 full rounds here. Boba Fett's top of the second round. Let's try to remember they took Gurley, of course, Todd Gurley at number 1 overall. I was going to point out earlier, and I might as well do it here, that they got Julius Thomas out for the first 4 weeks. Gurley is not going to certainly play week 1. Terrence West, I don't think, is a viable keeper anymore. So this is a team that needs running backs that can play. Even though they went out and got Gurley, it's a great pick. They've got to start getting guys who can play. So I think this has got to be Alfred Blue here.
Yeah. Good pick.
Yeah. Okay, Amsterdam Packers, second pick.
Alfred Blue, he needed the money. Oh! Hashtag 1990.
Nice. Ampac. Phil, you're going to be making this pick. They took Melvin Gordon first time around. Clearly, I think this team needs some receivers now.
Kevin White.
Kevin White?
Kevin White.
He's not going to see the field until next year.
You don't think so?
He's out for the year.
Oh, screw that. Take Rashard Perryman.
He doesn't have a catch in preseason.
All right.
Who do you want? I mean, Nelson Aguilar's gone, and
Duke Johnson.
Let me say this. Ralph took Marcus Wheaton much earlier than this last year.
Right.
And I think he's a better prospect this year for the Amsterdam Packers.
Swerday.
How about Eric Decker?
nah, that's not an impact player.
Yeah, if it's
He's
Perryman,
37 years old.
37 years old.
it's Perryman, it's Perryman. That's fine.
Let's go. I don't know. Well, I don't have a feeling, Rob. Give him Perryman. That's what I think.
All right, so now we come to the Hormel Hams. You're going to have 3 picks in this round. Welcome to the draft, Hams. And they've got the next 2, the number 15 overall, number 16 overall. Chief, another one of your division mates. You can make this pick for him. Make both picks, please.
And they are very well balanced. They have a very good keeper list. Andre Williams gives you some pause as a every week running back. So I think they'll probably look there. So looking at my running back list, I think the Hams are also a team who is looking to win now. I think they have the horses to win now. LeGarrette Blount is suspended for week 1, and he's certainly not an every down running back for the Patriots.
Doesn't matter because week 1 is before they keep the.
You know what, Bill? That's a very good point. Thank you.
Point for Bill.
But I am going to keep.
Not like I'm paying attention to anything that happens during the Steelers fucking Patriots game on Thursday.
Okay.
No, sorry, that was over aggressive. Excuse me.
But I'm going to give him Jonas Gray here, which might be a slight reach. But he's, as someone who's following the Patriots, he's looked every bit as good as Blount this preseason. In fact, Blount is playing tonight and Gray's not. So read into that what you will. For his second pick, I think we're going to go a strict best player available here. So you may say, John, who's the best player available here? And you know, I have a few guys here, but I think they're all projected keepers. I'm going to say right now, Roddy White is a good pick for a player who has Pac Bowl aspirations this year.
All right, Aliens up now. 5th pick in the second round, number 17 overall. Bill, you made the first pick for the Aliens. Why don't you make the second one here?
Second pick for the Aliens, and it's a mix and match choice between Duke Johnson and David Johnson. I think the Aliens could use a back with a lot of potential, and I'm probably at that point going to go with David Johnson, even though it hurts me, because I just know that Ellington is not going to last for a long time, but he's the highest rated keeper the Beavers can have. But I really think that David Johnson is going to take over that job, at least from a point. He's going to score points this year, and he might actually be the back of the future for the next for the year and to come. And I saw the guy play at Western whatever he was, and he carried the rock a lot. So got to think that's your best value right there, Aliens.
See, I moved him down my list once they signed Chris Johnson. Maybe I'm overreacting.
I don't think Chris Johnson's going to see the field. I honestly don't think he is. And
for such a big guy, he's pretty shitty running the ball between the tackles.
David Johnson or Chris Johnson?
David Johnson, both of them really.
Well, the fact is,
he seems to be, to me, a scat back trapped in a big back's body. But I agree that he's a very good pick at this point in the draft.
Yeah, it was from a value standpoint. That's where I went.
Sure. Okay.
Duke Johnson's concussion scared the shit out of me.
Well, he's been a fragile guy. You know, college. It's not just a concussion with him. Okay, Mongols on the clock now. Number 6 here in the second round. Number 18 overall. And just as Bill made my 2 picks, it turns out I'm going to make back-to-back picks for the Mongols. I gave them Tevin Coleman in the first round. With this second pick, I'm going to go with the first quarterback in the draft. The Mongols, I believe, don't have a third-round pick. That is correct. They don't have a keeper quarterback. They're gonna grab the first quarterback off the board here, Ryan Tannehill.
Love it. I think I had him a year too early last year.
I had him 2 years too early the year before. Hormel Hams back on the clock. Berto, want to make a pick for
Sure.
Spano?
Sure. Let's see for the Hams.
Reminding that they took Jonas Gray and Roddy White with their first two picks.
Right. All right, so I think Michael got his veteran receiver. I think he goes back to the well to gamble on some youth, either at running back or receiver. David Johnson, you said, was picked, right?
Yeah, got to be the other one.
Yeah. So we'll go with Duke Johnson.
Michael would be pleased with that pick, I think.
Yeah.
I actually wish I had 2 draft boards right now. Like actually sticker this one up in the mock.
Yeah.
We can have another webcast in a couple days, another 2 rounds.
We'll come back and we can come back and watch this right before the draft, or right after the draft. Okay, K-Wheels, number 8 here in the second round, number 20 overall. Welcome to the draft, K-Wheels.
Thank you.
You're not going to make your own pick here, Hank, so we'll jump ahead to Chief. Why don't you make this pick for Phil?
This is K-Will's first pick of the draft, huh?
First pick in the draft.
And they are, knowing Phil, he might actually take Kelvin Benjamin right here. Because listen, I'm not being facetious here. How many times has he taken Kenny Britt? I mean, he seems to live in fear about his guys excelling for other teams.
Michael Westbrook.
That being said, I think if this was his second pick, I would say, yeah, it's probably going to be Kelvin Benjamin. As his first pick, it's probably too early. He needs someone who's going to contribute now. I think right now it's a toss-up between a receiver, a tight end. I think right now a steady, solid play is going to be Jason Witten.
Perennial second rounder.
Over Greg Olsen.
Greg Olsen already went.
Oh, sorry. My mistake.
Greg Olsen went 11 to the Lizards.
Yeah. Okay, we got the Beavers back on the clock here. Number 9.
Bill doesn't seem very excited by that pick.
That's a boring pick. It's probably a very smart pick.
It is a very boring pick.
It is.
Greg Witten's always a board.
He's the Anquan Bolden kind of guy in the draft,
Yep.
Never kept.
But, Witten is like the guy you can always plug in as a third receiver. You can always plug him in. It's not a bad pick. It's just not an exciting pick.
It's Hillary Swank, man. You put her in a movie, it's going to be good. But nobody goes to a movie to see Hillary Swank.
But if she gets naked, you're like,
We're getting off the rails here.
A little bit.
We've been doing this for an hour and a half now before.
All right.
I get all night, man.
We're almost there. Number 9 in the second round. Number 21 overall. Slippery Beavers. Again, they took 3 players in the first round: David Cobb, Nelson Aguilar, and Matt Jones.
3 rookies.
3 rookies.
thumbs up all around.
Phil, why don't you make the Beavers' 4th pick here?
Well, again, they've taken a lot of youth that hopefully will pan out for them. They probably need somebody they can definitely start. I mean, are we crazy to say that they can take a run on tight ends and take Heath Miller or somebody along those lines that they can just take and plug in? Steelers homer, but I guess I'm more leaning that way. Yeah, I'll give him Heath Miller.
It would not be the first time the Beavers have taken Heath Miller in the second round.
Third time.
There you go.
He would then be a third-time Beaver.
Well,
Okay.
I think it's not out of the question.
Dirt Devils, number 10 here in the second round, number 22 overall. Bill, you're going to be making this pick for your division mate. Reminder that the Dirt Devils took Ryan Matthews, the prototypical Devils veteran running back in the first round.
Okay. Forte, Morris, and they have another sort of running back. I mean, again, I know it's against Nick's usual way, but I would think that Duke Johnson is very good value at this point.
He's gone. He went to the Hams at 18 or 19.
Oh, shit. All right, forget that.
Keep in mind, he only has 2 running back keepers on his team.
Well,
So right now, Duke Johnson is a starter for him. Or, I'm sorry, Ryan Matthews is a starter for him.
Yeah,
I mean, if he wants to win, then how about D'Angelo Williams?
That seems very Nick.
yes, it does.
All right, good pick.
And that's a great Devils-like pick.
Yeah.
Okay, that brings us to the Lizards, number 11 here in the second round, number 23 overall. I'll make this pick for them. They took Greg Olson, solid tight end in the first round, somebody who's going to be able to start for them at running back. Probably argue that they still need to acquire more running backs who can start. What team really doesn't?
The sponge.
So I think here, I don't know. The Lizards are looking pretty good at this point. They can go in a variety of directions. I'm going to give them a rookie running back. Everybody likes to try to grab a young running back here if they can. A little bit of hype around Jeremy Langford these days in Chicago. If Matt Jones went as early as he did here, I don't think Langford's a bad pick. Let's let the Lizards gamble on him here.
Okay.
All right, so that brings us to the Aliens, wrapping up the 2-round mock here, number 24 overall. We've had, courtesy of Bill, taking David Johnson and Martavis Bryant for the Aliens. So for my third pick now in this draft, last pick in our 2-round mock, Berto, why don't you wrap this up?
Wow. Let's see. What will Stick do?
WWSD.
Who's tapping on their desk?
How about
Tapper.
remind me who's been selected for you so far again?
Martavis Bryant.
All right.
So I could probably still use a third starting receiver for early in the season.
Yeah.
And David Johnson, giving me a young running back to go with my 4 keepers.
Okay.
Who's
Right.
doing that?
I think we're going to go wide receiver. I think we're going to go.
That's got to be Berto.
How about Eric Decker? You didn't like that before, but I think that's a quality selection.
I agree.
All right, give it to him.
All right. Okay, so there's our 2 rounds, 24 picks. Guys, what picks surprised you? What did you think were reaches? And take a look at your lists real quick and tell us one person who's sitting out there that you were surprised didn't make it this early.
Yeah, I've got one highlighted on the my tracking sheet here, and that's Martavis Bryant to the Aliens at 12.
Yeah.
If the Aliens got to take Martavis Bryant at 12, keep him.
I get it.
Darren McFadden is not going to go in the first round.
If I'd had 30,
Not gonna go the
30
second.
more seconds, I would have probably changed that pick.
As far as players, I'm surprised they didn't go in the first 2 rounds. I think probably Jameis Winston, if I had a second-round pick, I would have taken him. In fact, if Cooper was gone before my pick in the first round, I would take Winston.
Maybe if you had an extra third, you could take that.
Your point is noted.
Berto, any surprises?
No, I was going to mention Winston as well. Maybe I don't know. I'm thinking about it again. Maybe Matt Jones was a bit early. Maybe. I don't know.
Well, if they want him, they got to take him there because the Devils will take him in that.
Yeah, you're right. I think if he doesn't go there, then he is a dirt devil. But yeah, it's probably true. No, I don't see any other things that stand out to me that are big.
Do we really think the Dirt Devils are going to take a handcuff for the first-round pick? A guy they can't play?
That's a good point. That's a really good point.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah, but look at the other guys historically who are drafted in the first round.
No. I understand taking a rookie flyer, but why take one that you can't start?
Yeah.
Well, again, I think that goes back to the same argument that we had with the Fats, right?
You want to talk Duke Johnson or Cameron Artis-Payne there, I'll listen. But I don't think Devils are in any danger of taking Matt Jones there.
I don't know. At the end of the day, you want to protect that stud, and if the other guy is going to be, I mean, either way, it's a risk, right? So maybe I'm talking myself back into this pick, but whoever you take, you just want the guy who's going to start, and if it happens to be that he's going to get more carries than the guy that you have on your team, yeah, that sucks, but at least you have that guy, and you have both ends of it. So I guess it's kind of like you avoid the strikeout, but you probably won't hit the home run either because you won't have both guys. So.
Yeah, as I said, I think the Mongols at number 6 are in a tough spot. It makes it tough to forecast what exactly they would do in that situation. But Tevin Coleman to me seems like a clear-cut number 6 guy, and the top 5 guys seem like clear-cut top 5. Coleman's going to be the guy there, the best value. Do the Mongols take him, or do they move back, try to get value elsewhere?
Or is that Alfred Blue territory?
Mm-hmm.
Are you gambling that, Arian Foster's going to miss half the fantasy season, which seems to me to be probably a pretty good bet.
You might.
Alfred Blue and D'Angelo Williams are the 2 guys that are in the same category, although when Le'Veon Bell's coming back, you're not sure when Foster's coming back.
I thought Blue fell a little bit here. I've been projecting him in the first round, frankly, to the Beavers.
Maybe instead of Matt Jones.
Because the Beavers have Le'Veon Bell, who's not going to play in the first couple games. So
right, that makes sense.
I thought that would make sense, but
no, I mean it made sense at the time. It doesn't make sense now.
I thought reaches at the end of the second round. I would be thrilled if I saw Heath Miller, D'Angelo Williams, Jason Witten go off the board before my pick at the end of the round. Those guys have such limited upside.
Yeah.
But
you get teams there not looking for upside. You have teams drafting that late because they're solid contenders.
Well, that's the thing, Stick, is my pick at 20 with Jason Witten. I didn't make that, but let's say that's it. I don't have anybody else yet. And I'm not. Like I said, I'm looking to get somebody I can plug in when needed, and that's not going to be Jeremy Langford.
I was a little surprised at how few receivers went, I guess, especially in the second round. And when you look at the best available players, you still got some good, talented rookie receivers out there. Kevin White for somebody who really wants to take a long-term flyer. Dorial Green.
Rashard Pierman at Baltimore, I think, will have some staying power, but you're going to have to go through basically half a year of.
Devin Funchess didn't go.
Funchess didn't go. A younger guy, Charles Johnson, for the Vikings, I have relatively high. I think he could go in the second round. Devontae Parker.
Dorial Green Beckham. If anybody wants to take a freak total flyer on a freak, that's your guy. But boy, he could go anywhere from top of the second to end of the third.
Yeah. How much confidence do you have in the Tennessee offense right now?
And then you add to all those guys I just mentioned, you add Kelvin Benjamin, who's still sitting out there.
Jordy Nelson.
You had Jordy Nelson still sitting out there. So if this is how things go, the third round then almost has to be.
I think the league basically binged on young wide receivers last year, and we're
that's a fact.
Catching our fill of that and seeing what else is out there.
All right. Hey, okay, so let's wrap up here, Bill. We promised you a couple minutes. I know you've got a.
Yeah, sure. I've got a quick idea on something I want to run by anybody who's interested, and it's just something in needs development. But I'm thinking about a year-long fantasy sport league. You have a commissioner in each one of the 4 sports: football, baseball, hockey, basketball. You basically have months of scoring. You don't change your roster until the end of the month. So you don't have to do like a daily kind of thing. You pick guys at the beginning of the month and the end of the month. You have one draft, and then you have another draft at the end of every 3 months. But you always have to keep a certain amount of guys on the thing. Be kind of roto style. There's no playoffs. It'll all happen in the end. There's really not a whole bunch of trade talk happening because we have a trade window which would be about 5 days towards the end of the month. You'd basically it would be like 11 weeks per season. You have 4 separate seasons. But we draft across the board. We would define exactly how many guys you had to have in baseball, how many guys you had in basketball, football, whatever. But you can't change it through the season. You'd always have them in the same categories the whole way through. So I just want to throw it out. I thought it'd be kind of fun. Be really low maintenance. I would be happy to commissioner it. But if I could get at least 5 or 6 guys involved, it might be kind of fun.
What about golf?
Yeah.
If you want to be the golf commissioner, we had 5 people, then you could do golf.
Yeah, I know more NASCAR these days through my son than I know.
We're literally talking about like 5 guys per sport amongst 6 teams. So it would all be about establishing the scoring system, and then we'd have hockey, golf, or not hockey, football, baseball, basketball, and you'd have defined dates. We would probably start at the All-Star game, right in the middle of the season. The first draft would be at the All-Star game, and then you'd pick basketball players, football players, everything all the way through, and no sport would be weighted either way. But anyway, that was my little rant. Thought it'd be fun.
I'll probably take a pass, Bill, but thank you for the offer.
Fair enough. Just trying to think outside the box.
Yeah, and Thornburg, I like the idea in the sense that it seems like we're always doing some kind of game, and to me, tie a thread across it all is kind of interesting. I think you need to fully bake this idea.
Oh, wait, I will do that, but also I've received notices about, didn't we do a weekly thing? Was that you that did that with the ESPN weekly football picks?
Yeah, the pigskin pick'em. Did you get the notice?
I got the notice. Are you already established the room in that?
Yeah, oh yeah. So the pigskin pick'em is up and active. Anybody who did not get an invite from me should let me know immediately. I
forgot whether I was the one who driven it or not. Okay, so.
No, but I think everybody who played last year at least should have got an invite.
Okay. Yep.
Since we Bill broached the subject of fantasy leagues, I've been looking at something that's pretty interesting. I'm not proposing anything, but is anyone familiar with the Best Ball Fantasy Football League?
No. Best Ball?
Best Ball.
No.
Like the now defunct Toopster Open. All right? Okay. And basically, you pick the team, but you don't choose starters. Your top scoring quarterback gets counted. Your top 2 scoring running backs get counted, etc. So, I'm not suggesting we do this. Certainly, it's not going to replace what we have here. I thought, what an interesting format. You don't have to choose starters for the week. Just whoever on your roster is the top best scoring quarterback, 2 running backs, 3 receivers, tight end. Those are the guys whose points count. Like, yeah, what a great idea that is.
For like people who don't want to get into absolutely every single.
Yeah, or when you have a bye week,
Starter league, like a
and
starter
when you
league.
have an injury complication, you have to, don't forget about the replacements so much. It's
You know who'd like that league a lot is Matt Smith.
really.
No, because he doesn't have to think about it then. Just
I'm willing to bet he cares more about our draft dinner than any kind of.
Yeah, don't distract him with anything else. Let him
Yeah.
focus on that.
Believe me, there is no
Well,
distraction.
let's keep him focused on what's really important.
We're gonna get some of that soccer spray around where he is, around put it around his feet. That'll dissipate after, and somebody will be in charge of spraying it. Don't get in the zone.
Okay, listen, I didn't have a trivia question tonight, but let me pose a question that you can all scribble down, and we'll get back to in a couple weeks. What is the over-under? Your over-under on when we actually get served dinner on Saturday night?
What is the estimated time of serving?
Yes.
I think it's gonna trickle in starting at like 7:30.
Yeah, and, we have a guy who doesn't give a shit about the actual draft, so I'm assuming he's going to be cooking during that time.
They'll start cooking at 2.
But I like that question.
Good question.
Really makes you think.
I'm gonna. I think the over/under for betting purposes probably should be 9 o'clock.
I will say, in his defense, it would probably my first bite of that meal. I think it's going to be well before my first bite of a meal if you went to a restaurant.
Yeah, I'm taking the over.
At a party of 16.
Yes.
Yeah.
Agreed.
Ordering different things.
But I think on the over/under at 9 o'clock, I got the over.
I'm taking the over for sure.
9 o'clock? I will gladly take the under at 9.
I'll take the under.
Definitely the under.
Okay.
Wow. All right, I've set a good bar then.
That's
I like
awesome.
All right, but no, I'm counting on Smithers and Michael to have a great feast for us.
Connor's there. Connor doesn't give a shit about the draft.
It's
Right.
gonna be great, but come on, guys. This is not going to be a speedy process. This is not going to be about everybody ready to eat. This is going to take a while.
Like a Brazilian steakhouse.
Eat a late lunch.
Yeah.
All
It's
right.
going to be great, though.
Try the fish.
All right. So, hey, Chief, I'm going to leave it to you to email the league and settle the exact time the keepers are due on Saturday.
That's fine.
At the moment, they are due at noon, I believe, according to your email.
I don't care what to do. It's just I want to get him out to the rest of the league as a courtesy as soon as possible.
And please, if
If
you
someone wants to wait till 5 o'clock because there's a legitimate decision to be made, then I'm fine with that.
How about this? Listen, send in your keepers as soon as you're ready, and I'll send mine in tonight for crying out loud. But up until 5 on Saturday, if you want to make a change, you can. But if you know who they're going to be right now, get them out there so we can all
Chief, if you're sending anything on league wide, and you and I talked about this briefly, anybody wants to do that shooting the sporting clays on Saturday morning, I need to know by Friday morning. So.
In terms of the draft, real quick, the one thing I want to encourage people to do, some of you guys have already heard from me on email, get there as early as you can for the sake of the voting. We have a limited window of time for that till 4:30 on Saturday. I know the New York guys are going to be coming in fairly late, hopefully by 3:30, and they can take the last shift.
Yeah.
So if you can get there earlier, and we can get you right on the boat.
And if Connor needs me to arrive earlier, pick up the boat, or do something, have you talked to him about?
He just needs a first shift of 4 other guys who are there
Okay.
by 1:30 who want to go out on the boat.
I'm going to be there at noon, so.
I'll be there,
You're gonna
man.
be one of them.
What time's the house open?
Noon.
Okay.
Right?
I'll be there at
I'll
11:30.
I'll be there by 11:30 as well. Hey Bill, grab me some Pittsburgh Steelers lighters on your way down.
I'll do that.
Please. Nice.
Hey, Chief, hang on a second. I want to talk to Chief.
All right. Well, let's wrap up here. Good luck to everybody in making their final keeper decisions, final trade activity. Chief, did you have something else you wanted to say?
I'm fine.
Okay.
Good webcast, everybody.
God, I think we're all so looking forward to it.
Oh yes,
days
there
away.
actually is something. Stick.
Go for it.
And we said we weren't going to mention it, and I'm only mentioning it in a kind of frame of reference thing. But the best thing to happen out of this Tom Brady suspension being vacated is Ralph's back.
Yes.
They got two not really thought-provoking, but two emails they put thought into and took time to type up, and I don't know. I assume I love Ralph's brand of humor, but just the fact that he's backed and engaged, I think, is the best thing to come out of today's news.
Yeah, agreed.
Ralph, welcome back.
You know,
Everybody next weekend.
Yeah, as the managing
Enjoy your
editor,
Labor Day.
real quick, as the managing editor of TFFL Media, I get asked a lot of questions, of course, by owners around the league, and I think that the most common question I got asked in the last 6 months is Ralph okay? Or Bill's version of the question, is Ralph pissed at me for something? Yeah, so it's good to see him on email, and yeah, we'll get to see him in person and see all you guys in 8 days. Good luck, everybody. Can't wait.
Hurry, get your pool game going.
Yeah, safe travels to the draft.
Indoor pool, we're there.
Terry's in charge of pool games and pool toys. I'm sure he's working hard on some good competitions we can have in our indoor pool.
And we got my mad water skiing skills Friday morning.
Yep, you can do some water skiing.
Everybody bring your knee braces.
Yeah.
And if you have shopping requests, get those into Nick and to Smithers. They'll be leading the shopping on Saturday or on Friday, I guess. I think that's it, guys. We'll see you all in 8 days.
Awesome.
Excellent.
All right. Take care.
Later, boys.
Take
Good night,
care.
Lee.